So not the best time to launch your movie, but Matrix Resurrection is launching the week after Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm not sure what the thought process of that was, other than, hey, big Christmas box office, whatever. Maybe there's some contracts where this needs to be released in 2021. I'm not sure. But either way, Keanu Reeves' Matrix 4, Matrix Resurrection, is releasing next week. And some of the early feedback has been a little bit divided, to say the least. So much so that a site like IndieWire is saying this: The Matrix Resurrection's first reaction, boldest Hollywood sequel since The Last Jedi. And I cannot imagine a worse thing to compare it to than that. If you want anybody to actually go, I suppose. If you actually want people to like it. And this is a kind of a confirmation to me of what I said, what a lot of other people said when the leaks started coming out for this plot several months ago. Geekdom 101, he has a second channel, World of Geekdom. Highly recommend you guys subscribe. He talks about more than just Dragon Ball there. He talks about a lot of different pop culture stuff. And he got some information about this, and it seems to be all spot on based on what we've seen from the trailers. And he actually has the full plot leaks. You can go listen to an audio file of that somewhere. But what he said was that he thinks it's going to be pretty divisive. And I agreed when I heard the types of things that were going on, especially with Trinity and with Neo and with powers and things like that, and things that they did to these characters that people are probably not going to like. And it looks like the divided reaction is basically telling us the same thing. And here's the headline from IndieWire: The Matrix Resurrection's first reactions, bold Hollywood sequel or meta headache. The latest entry in the Matrix franchise has finally screened, and here's what people have to say. The Matrix Resurrection finally screened for press, industry, and other lucky viewers, and first reactions to the sequel are pouring in. This is not the last major movie premiere to round out, or not only the last major movie premiere to round out the year's winter season, it's also the first Matrix film since 2003's The Matrix Revolutions, and the fourth film of the franchise. Check out the roundup of social media reactions below. Matrix 4 features Keanu Reeves, consummate game stuntsman of all time, and Carrie-Anne Moss representing their roles as Neo and Trinity. Of course, they have Niobe. They have recast certain characters in this, which, like Morpheus, like not a lot of people are going to be happy with. But as the last trailer revealed, the franchise's main characters no longer remember each other following the events of the original Matrix trilogy. Franchise newcomer Abdul Mateen is Morpheus, but he's not Lawrence Fishburne's version of the character that fans love. And you can see some of the reactions pouring in. The Matrix Resurrections, despite and because of its infinite goofiness, is the boldest and most vivid personal Hollywood sequel since The Last Jedi. A silly/sincere galaxy brain take on reboot culture that makes peace with how modern blockbusters are now only about themselves. And the fact that people are using the words The Last Jedi to describe this rightfully has people a little bit worried. Let's look at some of the quote tweets, shall we? Let's see. So it will be pissed to TLJ crap. Let's see. Friends were trying to get me to see this. Said no, but was debating. Thanks for making it a hard no. This person says I'm going to love it for some reason. Damned with faint praise. I hate it when it does the quote tweets by time. So then it's just like the most recent ones. Let's get a good sampling of all this stuff. See if there's any bigger people here talking about it. Nice way of saying it's dog shit. This just translates to, oh, well, the fans will just pretend it doesn't exist once they've wasted 2 hours of their lives. Translation, it sucks. Sorry, Keanu, but I can't watch something similar or worse than The Last Jedi. And in reality, when you think of the idea of a Matrix 4, I know a lot of people love Keanu Reeves. I really like Keanu Reeves too. When you look at The Matrix, there's kind of really only one good movie. The rest you can enjoy. They might be somewhat salvageable to people. But at the end of the day, they're just not very good. First Matrix was awesome. It was revolutionary, and it was mind-blowing the way they filmed it, the technology, all this stuff. The idea of thinking about things that way. It was so mind-blowing. That's what made it cool. Then they tried to do it 2 more times, and it really didn't work out. Now you're trying to do it a 4th time, 20 years later, and I just really think that it's going to backfire. Sounds like a lot of other people think it's going to backfire as well. And one thing to keep in mind, Neo is the One, right? Or he was the One in a certain Matrix. He has the powers of the One. He's not the only one there's ever been. I think that's going to come into play big time in this. I think that don't be surprised if you see him and Trinity together doing something. Maybe Trinity being able to use powers of the One. That's just guesses, right? That might be what happens. Maybe that's why so many of these people are saying this. Maybe that's why your expectations are going to be subverted. And considering what's happened to the director of this franchise since they made The Matrix, I would heavily expect this to be laden with wokeness and identity politics. But I guess we're going to have to see when, people other than just the first people that get to see it start coming back to the reviews. I'm not going to go watch this in theater. I was never going to go watch this in theaters. It is going to be on HBO Max, I believe, so some people might be watching it there, but looks like it's going to be a very divisive movie in terms of Matrix Resurrections. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.